John J. Rambo, which to me is a fucking crazy-ass name. That is a Ron Dion-ass name.
This can't be the same cat. John J. Rambo. Because I knew a J.J. Rambo.
J.J. Rambo.
I knew a J.J. Rambo. I knew him at Studio
That's awful.
54.
Okay, he is a Special Forces veteran wandering the U.S. This would be in the first film.
He's a bum!
He's searching for meaning after returning home from Vietnam. Now, Rambo, JJ, was himself tortured by the Vietnamese as a POW. He has all the flashbacks to his torture. And he's got his, his trauma that he's working
Just
through.
don't think about it.
That's kind of the inciting action of the movie.
Ketamine therapy could have saved him.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, the first movie in the series is really about the kind of plight of the returned vet being cast out, even like resented by his own country.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting.
It's interesting because it was that is categorically not what happened.
Yeah.
It became sort of the national mythos of what happened. But growing up, even I in the liberal Bay Area was sort of exposed to the myth that veterans returning from the Vietnam War were spit on, called baby killers, and blah blah. Ken Burns repeats a lot of this in his Vietnam War documentary, which a lot of problems with Ken Burns. But it's funny because there's zero, and I mean zero, recorded instances of returning veterans being spit upon.
No. And I do think that that's a way to recast anti-war activists as
aiding and abetting the enemy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that also is able to turn the enemy. There's no human being with a heart and a soul who could look at the North Vietnamese during the Vietnam War and say, those are the bad guys. They are on the wrong side of this conflict.
Yeah.
And to look at the fucking, the corrupt regime of the South and the fucking Americans down there shoving fucking Coke bottles into fucking women's vaginas to torture them and fucking, lashing peasants and, burning villages, burning people alive, and be those are the good guys, they're misunderstood. And to, call, the anti-war protesters, it's a way of, recasting them as aiding an enemy and the enemy being bad. When it's any human being with a soul, with a fucking brain, can look at them and be oh, obviously they were right. The North Vietnamese.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein.